Hey guys, today I wanted to get a little personal and talk about therapy and specifically what I have learned after dozens of hours that I have spent in therapy. And I started therapy, I think, back in 2020 when I was trying to get out of a really toxic, long-lasting relationship. And then I returned in 2021 to manage my anxiety attacks. And then again in 2022 to manage all of the anger and all of the things going on inside of me after the war in Europe started. So after all of those sessions and all of these years and working with therapists in different areas or approaches in psychology, I really think that I have improved in so many ways, and this is amazing. And obviously I cannot share my deep secrets and deep insights because that only applies to me. But I do believe that there are some common universal things that I managed to get out of therapy, and that's what I'm gonna share with you today. So first thing about parents, and it goes pretty straight. You cannot change your parents, and that's it. Basically, you cannot change anybody. You cannot force the change. You cannot expect anybody to change just because you think this is a good idea. You know, people are gonna change once they are there, once they feel the urge to change or whatever. So please don't try to change your parents. Don't expect them to change just because you want them to, or you have this perfect parent idea in your mind. This ain't gonna work. So yeah, you have to accept them. And one of the therapists that I've been working with shared with me the thought that, okay, you are in constant fights with your mother and your father, and you feel like you want them to accept you, to know you better, to understand you, but do you accept them? Do you know them? Do you understand them? And once I started to think about that and started to implement some approaches to get actually to know my parents, it started to work both ways. So as in any other relationship, I guess it just cannot be one-sided thing. Your parents are, first of all, just human beings, and whatever they do, they just, that's the way they live. So acceptance, limiting your influence and powers, and it's just gonna annoy everybody, making everybody feel like you think you know the best. So yeah, I think this has helped me a lot and calmed me down in so many ways, and I am in the best place in my relationship with my parents ever. Next thing about anxiety, and it is that it's okay to feel anxious. And even if you feel super anxious, it's also okay. You cannot say that anxiety is a bad emotion and try to avoid it at all costs. Anxiety is all right, it's fine, it's just a mechanism built into our bodies, into our brains, and it's just a normal emotion that you can feel. So when I had my anxiety attacks, I had the urge to just get out, to run away, to hide, to never feel the thing again. And what was happening is that I was swallowing that thing, I was just putting it so far away, deep inside myself, that the next time something triggered big anxiety, I was shattered. I was broken into pieces, and it was just super crazy. So what I learned is to accept my anxiety, to just learn to notice it, and then just to accept that, okay, I feel it, and most importantly, to track and trace what is the origins of the anxiety, because anxiety is telling us something. In my scenario, I was thinking that I am so afraid of, being judged by somebody, while the original idea or the original fear that actually led to this gigantic anxiety attacks was completely different. And learning the cause and accepting what you feel and just understanding that your body is trying to save you and help you is the key. And in the end, I learned to live through my anxiety and live through these emotions and just slightly and gently letting it go and just taking out the lesson that my brain wanted to give myself. Okay, what is the key idea? Why I feel that way? Is that really that scary? Should I be really feeling like that? And what helped me with anxiety is also following a diary where I was tracking my original thought, and then what triggered that thought, and how I felt in my body, and what are the background thoughts. And that's how I managed to discover the origins and the main fears that triggered the anxiety and work with them. And eventually, I cannot say that now I live anxiety free, but my attitude towards anxiety has definitely changed, and it has helped me in so many ways. Anxiety is no longer like stopping me from living a normal life. I also learned this about my life, and it may be pretty obvious, of course. So it goes as, the responsibility for my life is on me, and I take this responsibility. Whatever happens in my life is the result of my actions, my decisions, my thoughts, my attitude, and whatever, and that's it. So yeah, I know it's pretty obvious, but still, when I thought about that, when I tried to really feel that way and start thinking that way, it has changed a lot of things. Because previously I used to blame things around me, people around me, like again my parents, or I could blame the government or like other people for like ruining my life and making something to my life that I cannot live the way I want to live and things like that. So I was this person who was just constantly feeling like, oh my God, the whole world is against me in a sense, or like my ex is his fault that I'm feeling this way, I blame it on him, and you know, all this kinds of stuff. But eventually what has happened is that, yeah, I've learned to twist that and start to feel and understand actually that whatever it is that is happening again in my life is my responsibility and the result of my actions. And this has this has made a tremendous impact on my life. And now every time something is going on, I just remind myself and I try again to trace down what has led me to be in this situation. And I know I have the power to change things. Sometimes I compromise with myself or other people, and it is super okay, it's super normal. So it's just important to not to get into this victim position of blaming everything and everyone around you, and take full responsibility, because here where the power to truly change things lie. Because if you are blaming other people, then you would expect things to change only after they do something. But if you don't blame yourself, but if you take accountability for your life, then it's up to you to change it. It's up to you to do something in order to make it better or different. So this is the key thing. I also learned that anger is a really good emotion, because I used to stigmatize anger a lot, and I tried to swallow it. I was labeling it as bad emotion, and I was trying to run away again from it and just try not to feel it, thinking that if I'm feeling angry, that this means that it's not like I'm a bad person, but that, well, I shouldn't be doing that because it's bad for me, anger is bad for the world, we all have to be kind and all the things. And again, anger is just a normal emotion, and in fact it is a super powerful emotion. So instead of swallowing it, I learned to, well, first change a bit my attitude. If I get angry, of course I can go nuts and just scream and shout and break everything around me and go crazy and destroy everything, you know, but that's not the way I want to do it. I use anger as a strong motivator, as an energy source in so many ways, again, for a change, for stating my opinions and thoughts. And if I swallow it, bad things happen to my body. Like, I have started to have acne 1 year ago, and my dermatologist couldn't fix it, and eventually she sent me to therapy. And once I started therapy, it started to go away, because the reason for my acne was mostly my anger. Not anger, but the way I was like digesting it, not correctly, not in the best way possible. I learned to be okay with my anger and to use it as a source, as my power source, and now Now it's getting better. I think my face is getting better, which is showing a lot, but I also feel differently, and I'm not afraid of feeling angry anymore. When it comes to relationships, I learned that it's totally okay to quit, to leave the relationship that is just not working for you, where you feel miserable, where you feel terrible, really bad, and just constantly blaming yourself for whatever is going on in the relationship of a two-person. So it's totally fine. You don't have to feel that if you do that tiny, teeny thing, then everything's gonna change. That I have to work, and then the other person is just there lying on the sofa and not doing anything and just continues to destroy you from the moral perspective. So whatever, just if you feel like this is not working out, if you try things and you just feel miserable, just go. Just quit. You're gonna thank yourself. Sooner or later, when you realize that, and when you quit the toxic relationship, oh my God, this is one of the best things that I've done lately. And yes, this is a very, very important advice or thing that I learned. I also had a weird attitude towards gratitude, where I felt like being grateful and being positive is trying to, again, run away. If I notice good things, that means I'm closing my eyes on the bad things, and I'm just lying to myself and pretending that the world is a beautiful, beautiful place. So that also changed after introduction of the gratitude journal and noticing more and more good things around me. I realized that gratitude is a muscle you can actually build, and if you are feeling grateful and overall positive, you are so strong. And it doesn't mean that you do not notice bad things. They are still here, of course. But what happens is that you have that inner strength and belief in the good, and you start to be better in the sense where you do a lot more good things. So whatever makes you feel good and grateful, you try to return it into the world, you know? So gratitude is a miracle, truly, and I think everybody should practice gratitude. Next thing is a bit more complex. It's about secondary gain and how secondary gain is such a powerful thing, and how important it is to analyze your behavior and understand where you're acting or what is happening to you just because of the secondary gain. So without jumping into definitions, here is a example from my life. So my secondary gain was feeling sick and ill all the time. When I was in that toxic relationship, I desperately needed attention. I desperately needed somebody to take care of me, to just notice that I'm actually trying to survive, that I'm actually going through a lot of things, that I am feeling bad. And well, usually it was left unnoticed. So instead, I started to feel sick. I was getting sick so often, like I was getting flus or some things in my stomach. And my secondary gain was to actually gain that attention from the person, just to see that I don't feel so good, that they can take care of me. And it didn't work. I was just sick all the time, and I was miserable again, and it was terrible. And then I just started to realize that this is the secondary gain. I'm not actually a person with a bad immune system or something like that. I was just trying to get this attention. So secondary gain is so powerful, and it's super important to notice it, to spot it, because it can go nuts, it can go crazy. So for me, it was again noticing that, realizing what actually is going on, and then magically I stopped being sick all the time because there was no more secondary gain for me in this. So be attentive, try to understand yourself better, get to know yourself better, and then you will know what are the secondary gains in your life. I also learned to appreciate myself way more, and I realized how hard it was for me to appreciate myself, to accept appreciation from other people. Like, how do you react if somebody gives you a compliment or just congratulates you on achieving something? If you, like me, you were cringing or you just don't feel comfortable and you try to make a joke or something like that, think about whether or not you actually are capable of accepting like any good things that comes towards you, starting from yourself. Like, I was that person who couldn't like believe that whatever I'm doing is actually valuable at all. But eventually I realized that I'm just like trying to push down my achievements, and I need to be more, again, grateful towards myself. Like, I need to thank myself and appreciate myself way more. And I also implemented the 5 achievements of the day practice, where every single day I just notice 5 things I feel like I did really good during the day in my work life, in my relationships, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I'm awesome. And I really want to believe that I'm awesome, and I think I'm starting to. So this is it for today. Let me know if you want to learn maybe something else. I think therapy is really great, and if you have a possibility, if you have anything you are struggling with and you're trying to find answers, and you have a resource and possibility to go to therapy, I think you should. And it takes some time to find a really good therapist. And yes, one super important thing to remember is that, of course, therapy does not magically like fix your problems and everything in your life. It's not happening like that, definitely. So therapy is a long process, and it's your responsibility again, and it's something that you have to work on.